Of mind for so many of us, especially this weekend, was mandatory masks. We wanted to speak with Dr. Ray Deonandan, epidemiologist, associate professor for the Faculty of Health Sciences at University of Ottawa. Hi, Dr. Deonandan.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you so much for joining us today. We wanted to speak with you because, of course, this debate over teachers and students potentially wearing masks in school is really getting a lot of attention. What's your initial thoughts on that?
Well, our number one focus should be how to reopen schools safely in the fall. Everything hinges on that. The economy depends on it. Our long-term health of our children depend on it. So whatever it takes to make that happen, I'm in favor of. I think masks are an important tool in this fight. And the goal of wearing a mask is to diminish outward transmission. That's why we have people in the community wearing it. In a school, it's a bit different. The goal of a mask should be to not only diminish outward transmission, but to offer some protection for the students and staff as well. That's why I'm in favor of not just mask wearing, but a face shield wearing. It might be difficult to have communication with the mask on, so that's when a face shield becomes a little more amenable. And so it's possible to just use the face shield if the mask is not possible.
Do they have the same level of protection, though, Doctor?
That is debatable, and there's a lot of arguments going on about this. The data is not there. The assumption is that face shields are better for inward protection, do not offer as much outward protection. But we can modify the designs, and I've seen some interesting designs being proposed where the shield curves around your chin. Mm-hmm. You know, that way the droplets aren't spraying out the sides, and that might solve the problem.
I think about teachers and how much they've got to deal with on a regular basis, and then to add this mask component, I really do feel for them.
Oh, yeah, me as well. And what we look at, though, is if we can have teachers feel safer by wearing this protective equipment, then maybe that diminishes the stress to a large extent. So a big part of this is not just in making the environment safe and making people feel safe. So confidence, we cannot underestimate as an important factor in how we deploy these resources.
Doctor, how important is the mental health aspect here? Because we hear so often that we are in the middle of a COVID-19 pandemic, but there is right now a mental health pandemic as well as one brewing for future.
It's almost like the fates have conspired to throw everything at us at once. You know, yes, the mental health aspects are very important to this, but we can see this as an opportunity to test our resources and our infrastructure and our resilience. And our ability as public health, planners to respond to that kind of challenge enables us to plan better for the next big challenge coming around the corner, because there will be future pandemics, possibly worse than this one. That's why it's important to open up schools safely now to diminish the impact of negative mental health consequences that may result from a longer term lockdown or restriction. And we won't know the answer to that question until it's all said and done, months or not years from now.
We're speaking with Dr. Deonandan from the University of Ottawa. Doctor, when you think about this weekend, and of course we opened up phase 3, we know the byword market was hopping with people. Was that a concern to you? Do you feel that this will cause a second wave, a wave that we already were expecting?
It's possible. I'm always concerned when I see clustering of people. It's a lot safer outside. The data is consistently showing us that transmission is rarer in outdoor environments. So I'm not as concerned as I would be if this were happening, in a mall or a bar or someplace like that. I was looking at data from Australia this morning, and they have their fall winter happening right now, and they're seeing the start of what looks like a second wave. So I'm more concerned with what happens in the fall and less about what happens now when we can be outside in the warmth and the humidity, because humidity is a big part of this as well. I would like people to get into the habit of distancing, so maybe the clustering outdoors is bad psychologically in that we will crave it when we have to go back inside. But to answer your question directly, I am concerned, but not as concerned as I would be if it were indoors.
When you're seeing what's happening in other parts of the world, whether